Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Twist Gaming. We are here live at Origins Game Fair 2017 in Columbus, Ohio, with the always energetic, always fun Mr. Stephen Buonocore of Stronghold Games.
I try, but it's really early, and I'm really tired after last night's.
I drug him out of bed.
That sounds hot. No, don't imply anything on that. Husband's right here. Okay. Yes, the convention is going fantastically well.
It is amazing. This is my first Origins. This is my first time to Columbus.
Well, it's a wonderful city.
It's beautiful.
Is it?
I mean, it's not South Florida.
No, it's not, Boca Raton, Del Rey. They don't know what we're talking about.
Nope, not at
She
all.
lives in
Inside
Boca.
jokes.
I'm considering moving into the area soon, so it's going to be good.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's going to be really fun, South Florida, for the gaming scene.
Yeah. So Columbus is really kind of cool. It's got a kind of hip center of town, and you get to get in the evenings. You get to get some nice restaurants and make some bad decisions about beer and things like that. But we're together again here at 11 o'clock in the morning, and we're doing a good job. Yeah.
You must be in heaven with the breweries around, the microbreweries.
Yeah, no, exactly. Barley's right across the street is awesome. I was there, and there's a couple of really other nice craft beer bars down the block too. So yeah, it is good.
Awesome.
For that scene, it is good.
I was told to go to Jenny's, so I finally made it the other night.
I have not been to Jenny's.
No,
I know. Isn't that terrible?
The most interesting ice cream flavors.
Really?
Roasted strawberry. Like salted caramel brittle, like really weird brambleberry.
So this is like the new Columbus, downtown Columbus podcast, right? That's what we're here for.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
We are here to talk about all the excellent Stronghold games. That is what we're here for.
Yes.
So what do you have?
We have 6 new games here that either have just come on the market or won't even be will be coming out over the next 2 months. So, kind of chronologically, May 31st came out Fields of Green, which is the same designer as Among the Stars. He took that card drafting and tableau building system, and he just notched the whole thing up. So there's more control on the drafting. You have to manage more resources. You're building your farm out, and it really looks cool. So it's one of the few games you'll see. I mean, farming's a big theme, but it's always like medieval farming. Yeah. You have modern 21st century type farming going on. Yeah. So it's really neat, and you got this beautiful field in front of you at the end with your animals and your fields, and as usual with the system, how close things are to each other matter, or how far apart they are important, and things like that. And you have to manage those resources to feed your animals, to water your fields, and things like that. So that's a lot of fun. Get the Cheese is another one. It's a light card game, just like Fuji Flush in that same small box, where you're playing a family of mice and you're trying to rush to get the cheese, and people are playing cats against your mice to eat them, and you can play dogs against people's cats. And it's a game of bluffing, because some cards are face down, some cards are face up, and things like that.
Now you've mentioned Get the Cheese a con or two ago. So you're going in chronological order. When are we talking about release dates for those games?
Both of those games were May 31st, so just a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
So
okay.
we didn't see each other at Geekway at the West.
No.
And we didn't see each other at BGG. Those are I also had them there, but I might have mentioned that they were coming up. I might have mentioned I had a cat game coming out, and that was my little cat versus mouse versus dog game that we came out with. And then we have the new Geoff Engelstein game, which is coming out on July 12th, Pit Crew. Now, Pit Crew is a great story. Suzanne Sheldon, who's on the Dice Tower Network, said on one of the podcasts that she was on that there's a lot of racing games out there, right? And they're all about the driver and winning the race, right?
Okay.
But there's no games about the pit crews in racing, and pit crews, right, are really the unsung heroes. If they
That's such an interesting observation.
Right, it's true.
Yeah.
And if they can't get the car back on the track in 8 seconds or whatever it is, I'm not a huge fan, but I know you see these guys, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
The driver is going to lose the race. So, Geoff Engelstein tweeted about it. He goes, "Challenge accepted." 4 months later, I had a prototype of this, and I'm like, this is great. So it's a speed game.
What a great origin story.
It is great.
Awesome.
It's a speed game it's 2 to 9 players. So what a great player count. And you're playing in teams of you're playing in either 2 or 3 teams. So you can even play one against one or any of those player cards. It doesn't have to be even teams.
Are you
Because
each your own individual pit crew?
each of the teams is a pit crew.
Okay.
So there could be up to 3 cars that are going to race, a green one, a yellow one, and a red one, in those big bright colors that the stock cars have. We can't say NASCAR because that's a copyrighted thing. Stock car racing. And you have to essentially, like in real time, you have to change the tires via card play. So it's basically like putting cards that match the various numbers that are here. So you're playing cards here, then you put a cap on, like, okay, I changed that tire, put cards there. And you're all doing this simultaneously, like, I need a 3 over here. Do you have a 3? No, I don't have one. You have to draw a card, throw a card out. And then once you get the card ready and you're done, you can then start moving it on the track by rolling a die. And if you hit a 6, you can move it. The other teams are now trying to do it to get their car on the track. You do this several times, and the person who has gotten the furthest is going to be the winner.
That sounds like so much chaotic kind of
It's
fun.
it
that
is.
like hurry. Very, very.
And you might make a mistake. Like in the
Yeah.
end, you have to check, did everything work out? And
Yeah.
if it didn't, well, then you get a penalty. So your car wasn't really good. So the other racers go further because it was a penalty. So that's, it's just like a lot of fun, and it's got a lot of great buzz on it. And there's a great story behind it. That somebody thought of it, and Jeff said, yeah, you're right.
Challenge
I'll do
accepted.
that. I'll do it. So he did. And then we have Cottage Garden.
Okay.
Cottage Garden, Uwe Rosenberg game, truly one of the great designers. I put it in my great designer series as number 8. It is, if anybody knows Patchwork, he did a game called Patchwork a couple of years ago, but that was a 2-player only game. So he changed it up, changed the theme also. Patchwork, you were making a quilt. How cute. Here, you're planting a garden, a cottage garden.
Okay.
And you have 2 of these gardens that you can plant in front of you, and it's all with Tetris-like pieces with flowers on them. And they come out, and these are the ones that are available, and you take it and you put it into your garden. And you want to not cover up, you want to try to cover up everything except for certain spaces on there that will then score you the most points. And you'll do this over 5 rounds, and you'll be able to, you get cats in the game, more cats. The cats can be like spent to do certain extra things in the game and stuff like that. Because, cats will hang out in your garden for a while and then they'll go leave. And, so you get an extra thing for when the cat leaves and things like that. So it's a really great, approachable game. I mean, really, it was kind of a game that you can almost play with anybody, and it looks gorgeous on the table because you're actually, making this beautiful garden of all these different colored flowers. So that's Cottage Garden by Uwe Rosenberg. And I believe that's it. But we should talk about terraforming, I guess, a little bit. Terraforming Mars.
So, can I ask you one quick question before we get on that?
No. Go ahead.
I know that on your podcast, which I do want to talk about at the end of this, you had made a couple of comments about themes, common running themes in games. And I've noticed you just named 2 kind of farming and garden themes, and I'm starting to feel like gardening is becoming a very popular theme in board games. What are you seeing?
Well, certainly farming has always been a big theme. There are a lot of games about farming. Agricola kind of like was set that one up as like going to be like the standard of that. But and most of it's always been older farming, right? Medieval farming.
Yeah.
Gardening is, I don't have any other gardening
Herbaceous
games.
is coming out. Is out.
Okay.
And that's a very nice gardening game. And I've seen a couple of others pop up.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe it's just something that I'm seeing in the little bit that I'm looking at.
I mean, it's interesting because gardening or really farming is a process. And every board game essentially is a process, right?
Yeah.
So that's really the connection between, why are there so many farming games, gardening as well? Well, they're both processes where you have to kind of do this to have this happen, to have this happen. So it is a common theme, I think, because it's an accessible process, and everyone can understand. Okay, yeah, I gotta go get this thing to plant this thing, and then I better water this thing and
for it
things
to
like
go.
that. So, and
I guess with gardening, that it's flowers. If you get good art, it's going to be a beautiful game anyway. That's always a great draw to a game.
Yes, absolutely.
Terraforming Mars.
Terraforming Mars. Okay, well, first of all, the epically large print run. I keep talking about how big. I mean, it's tens of thousands. I don't talk about print run size, but this is like Asmodee would cringe to print that many copies of a $70 game. So it's a really big print run. So anybody who has not gotten the game and is disappointed that I haven't been able to, believe me, we always want to sell games. So it's just was impossible to keep this thing in stock, but we now did something really big. Everybody should be able to get this game by the end of the month. And since it's being assembled right now in the USA, in good old Lafayette, Indiana, The games came directly from the factory, and they arrived here yesterday morning. So we've had yesterday afternoon. So we've had them on sale here. We got a couple hundred copies. We've gone through about half of them already. We're probably going to sell out of Terraforming. But then the bigger news is that what we're supposed to have here, the expansion to premiere it here, but the artwork just wasn't ready, so they haven't printed it. That expansion is 100% made in the USA at the Ludofact USA factory in Lafayette, which is kind of cool. It's a game board, a double-sided game board, so you can have new placement bonuses, new milestones and awards. So this game system remains the same, no new mechanics, but all the strategies that you had before, you're going to have to change up because you're not going to be able to do the thermalist milestone anymore, or the terraforming milestone, or that award. They don't exist anymore. There's a whole new set because you're now terraforming 2 different areas on Mars, and that's called Hellas and Elysium.
Very cool.
And that one is now going to be coming out on July 26th. It's pushed to the end of July. We'll have it at Gen Con.
That'll be very good. That'll be very good. I know a lot of people have been waiting for more copies of Terraforming Mars, and I know that there's been a lot of buzz surrounding the expansion for Terraforming Mars.
And then the next expansion is for Essen, and it's called Venus Next.
Venus Next?
Venus Next.
Venus Next. So Mars first.
Venus Next.
And Venus Next.
Yes.
That works.
Yes.
After our last interview, I learned that you have a podcast.
I do.
And
you didn't know that?
Pretty.
I thought you knew everything about me.
Obviously, I knew. Obviously, I knew.
You know. Yes.
It's excellent. It is awesome. It is you and Trezwiczek, and I forgot his first name. Ignacy.
Yeah, I can't even say his last name. You're very good.
Trezwiczek from Portal Games.
Yes.
And you guys bi-weekly to go on and talk about all the things, Board Games Insider, go on and talk about all the things going on in the gaming industry. It is a really cool look into seeing that side of the industry.
Yeah, no, thank you. We specifically, Ignacy had the idea to do this Board Games Insider. You can get it, on iTunes and every place else, and we have a website, boardgamesinsider.com. We do it exactly, or approximately a 30-minute podcast. So we don't want to be, I love the Secret Cabal guys, and we were partying with them last night. That's one of my voices here. My head hurts right now. They're wonderful, but they go on for 3-4 hours sometimes. And that never has time to do that. I don't have time to listen to that all the time. So we're a 30-minute podcast. We do 10 minutes on the news of the industry. We do 10 minutes on questions that get posted in our Board Game Geek Guild. We answer those questions, basically, of what's going on inside Portal Games, what's going on inside Stronghold Games, where we're going to be, where you can see us, and things like that. So 30 minutes in and out. We're trying to demystify the industry, right? Everybody is interested in, well, how do you do this kind of stuff? We're opening the kimono, right? We're showing off what goes on. Hey, take it easy there. We're showing off what goes on inside the industry, and our commentary, of course, on the news and things like that. Because people, what does it mean that Asmodee just went exclusive with Alliance? It's a very, very significant thing for a lot of publishers, a lot of the distributors, and a lot of gamers. So what does it mean? We talked about it on our last episode. No,
you guys have great, insightful commentary, and I love listening for the half an hour. Your personality and Ignacy's personality they're so opposite, but they're complementary. We're
very opposite kinds of people. He's very kind of quiet and introverted, and I'm like a ridiculously big personality. I'm Buonocore. But no, yeah, and I always get him to laugh on that show. He's very stoic. Polish, but I always I actually start right before we hit the record button. I say something funny to him, and he's like, 3, 2, 1, go, and then we start and we're like laughing as we're starting the show. He goes, just breaking him down a little bit, and it's fun. Yeah, we have a good time together. Oh, and you're gonna be at Dice Tower Con. Right?
I am.
Awesome. Guess what we're doing at Dice Tower Con?
What are you doing?
Board Games Insider Live. We're gonna be doing a live show. They asked us to do a live show on Friday night, Saturday night? I forgot. Look it up. And we're going to be there for, probably going to do this one, a long one, because we want to entertain people for a little longer.
Will Ignacy be here? Because I know last time, oh, perfect, because you guys did that from Gamma.
We had
a live episode from there.
Well, we were together there, but there was nobody listening to us, right? That was just us recording something. Yeah. We're going to have a studio audience, right?
Oh, that's cool.
Tom Vassell could do it. Stephen Buonocore and Ignacy Trezwiczek could do it too. So they always do a live show. They're going to be doing live shows at his con. So we're going to do a live show, and of course I will tease the crap at him, and maybe he'll even show up. I haven't asked him yet. I don't even know if he knows, because he doesn't run the con. I mean, he's got too many things going on. He doesn't run his own con. He's got people. But who knows? Maybe he'll get.
I don't know, Stephen. I feel like if I was working with you, I would need to have an eye on you at all times. Not saying you're a troublemaker.
Me?
Or
no,
anything.
no.
That's super cool.
Yeah,
so
it's gonna be fun.
Anybody else coming to Dice Tower Con, make sure that you check out for that on the schedule so that you can check out a really cool podcast.
Board games inside of the eye.
Live podcast, live talk with some two heavy-hitting industry giants with really insightful, really good, really honest commentary. Me, obviously. Oh yeah, and Stephen might be there.
I might be.
Stephen, thank you so much for
Oh,
taking
thank
the time
you.
this morning to meeting with me.
Thank you,
Is there
Twitch people.
anything else that you want to make sure that you get out there before we bid adieu?
I always want to say, come to the Stronghold Games website. It's not a great website, but we announce all of our new games on there with the street dates and all of that. We have things on pre-order constantly. Sign up there for our newsletter. We don't spam you. You get like one a month these days because I'm too lazy to get them out there. But like we get you news information first to our newsletter subscribers. Of course, we're active on Twitter, constantly looking at Twitter and retweeting and things like that. At Stronghold Games there, /Stronghold Games on Facebook, and just follow what we're doing because I think we got some good stuff happening.
Yeah, very excited.
Yeah.
Stephen, thank you so much.
Thank you.